What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out today's video, and in today's video we are going to be going over the best controls and settings to use in PUBG Mobile. And when I say controls, I'm going to show you how to customize your heads-up display. So to get started, we're going to want to change a few things around in our basic settings, like aim assist. I recommend disabling it just because it doesn't help in certain scenarios. It targets an enemy that's already knocked instead of an enemy that's standing. After that, change your shotgun from tap to shoot to release to shoot. Instead of having to move and tap, you'll be able to move and release. It will make you much more accurate. After we've done this, let's go back to our basic settings, scroll down, and you're going to see an option called peek and fire. You're going to want to enable it. I do not recommend using peek and open scope just because it gets in your way more often than it helps you. So when you're using peek and fire, it's going to make you a much smaller target when you're shooting at an enemy long distance or close distance. They'll have to just hit your head. Now it is dangerous, but they have to hit your head, and some people aren't that accurate. After we've done that, enable your left side fire button. It's going to help you be much more accurate in long distance scenarios where you can move with your right finger and shoot with your left finger. So now that we've done that, let's go back to our basic settings again. Enable auto open doors and then change your damage effect from red to green. It's going to help it be much more noticeable if you hit an enemy. So now that we've gone over some of the basic settings, let's get to the graphics settings. If you have a piece of shit phone, I don't recommend playing on high graphics. But if you have an iPhone, let's say 6 or greater, you can play on HD graphics and usually get away with it. You just at least need 2 or 3 gigabytes of RAM on your phone to play this game on HD graphics, and it will increase your frame rate much better if you play on the graphics setting that's right for you. Now let's get to customizing our controls. I recommend using the left movement setting because the other two get in your way, but after you've changed to that, let's go to our heads up display. First things first, take your revive button, center it on your display, and increase the size of it to 150%. You're going to find in a lot of scenarios that the revive button at its default setting was much too small, and you would find yourself having troubles clicking on it, and sometimes you would lose a teammate in the midst of a hot battle. This time, it will be much easier to click. Same thing for your drive and get in button for the vehicles, but increase the size of that to 170% and then center it. This is going to help you do the same thing. It's going to make it much easier to get in vehicles when you're trying to get away or when your friends are picking you up and they always complain, oh, you didn't get in at the right time. Earlier in the video, you should have enabled peek and fire. This will put these two buttons on your heads up display. I recommend putting the left one on the left side and the right one on the right side. That way you don't get confused when you go to actually use these buttons. And you click the right one when you need to use the right one, same for the left one. This is a trick not a lot of people know. Move your sprint button closer to your joystick. It's going to make it much easier to enable auto run. Now you actually have a button for this in the top right, but it's kind of hard to click and really tiny. After we've done that, make your prone and your crouch buttons more centered around your shoot button. And I recommend increasing the size of that anywhere from 120 to 140%. Same for the left side fire button, increase the size of that anywhere from 120 to 140%. It's going to make it so that you don't make a mistake when you need to click these buttons. So save your new layout and then come back to the main menu, and then I recommend going into training mode and playing with these new settings for about 5 minutes or so until you get used to them. I don't recommend hopping straight into a match because you might fuck up. Guys, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a wonderful thumbs down. I've linked some more videos at the end so that you guys can go check them out. Some tips and tricks and some more settings. You should go check them out as well and give them a thumbs up.